Hey everyone, looks like we are live. It's great to see everybody. Happy Wednesday. So we are in part two of this Persephone Underground, sort of Persephone in modern day. So I'm very excited about it. And I worked on, okay, this is what I did. I have a video coming up and I filmed the putting the shellac over this paper. So once I finished the black and white, the underpainting, I went ahead and put the shellac on there. And then once the shellac was on there, I went in with airbrush and paintbrush and started working on the subway car behind her. And today we are going to dive into her skin tone. So it's going to be great using Wicked Paint and the Badger airbrushes. And let's see who we have here today. Mr. Roy, all the way from New Jersey. How are you, my friend? Colette, how's it going? All the way from Wisconsin. Great to see you. We have Steve Leahy, all the way from Massachusetts. How's it going? Great to see you. We have Honey, all the way from Rockville Center, New York, also known as Long Island. So great to see you, Honey. Oz, we have Oz all the way from the Atlanta area. That is very cool. And we have, that's Air Todd. How's it going? All the way from San Diego. So you're in the garage, huh? Okay, cool, cool. I hope that the Wi-Fi holds out because we love your comments and everything. It's always great to see you. Drop my brush. And nameless subscriber, how you been? All the way from California. Great to see you. Oh, this is just a model. No one famous. And so this painting is basically a fine art painting with a background and emotion and all that stuff. So a little bit deeper I've been going with my art. I think it's time that I start doing that. Start doing artwork that has little more of substance over style. You know, maybe I work so much on style, maybe I should start working on substance. So that's my thought processes right now. You know, maybe I should start kind of making a paradigm shift in my work. So there'll be a lot less celebrities, more fine art pieces. Now this is part of my Persephone series. The last painting that we just finished was Persephone in late autumn. Now this is Persephone, but I actually put her in a modern setting, and I thought that was quite interesting because you know, although she's a mythological person, she is I'm in this time period, so why not kind of meld the two together. Mr. Dwayne, how are you? San Luis Obispo. Always great to see you, my friend. How is everything, sir? And let's see, so now I think that is everybody. Cool. So what we are going to do is I have the face only stencil, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start working on Persephone's face, and I am going to do that as soon as I find my glasses. Let's see. If you were my glasses, where would you be? That's the question. Let's see, not here, not over here. Maybe, let me see. Bear with me, guys. Okay, so the show must go on. I just cannot locate them. So they will come up. So we are going to have to go in blind. Hey Ryan, how's it going? Great to see you, sir. How's everything? So I'm so glad you're here, Ryan. So let's see. I am going to go ahead and do the whole critter thing with you guys. Let's see if this gets better. Let's see, I'm going to come here and I am going to go to share window and we're going to go with critter. Let's see if this works. Nope, that did not work. So we will delete that. And I think we have to do this. Share screen. So we'll share this screen. And I'll make this small. Oh my God, look at that. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so we'll come back here. And there we go. We'll delete that. And I know we did it before, so I think if I put critter on this screen here, let's see if that works. We'll go here. Share screen. And we'll do this one. Okay, cool. Now, can you guys hear me right now? Let me know if you guys could still hear me. And so what I'm going to do, I'll put her over here. So I want to figure out, and this is my new technique on how to figure out a color or how to get to the ballpark color, right? You wanna be able to mix that color. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my color picker, which is right here, and I'm going to go over the general midtone of Persephone, right? Now, when you go over the general midtone, you're going to look over at this triangle with the circle around it. The circle around it is what you really want to, what you really want to concentrate on, right? That's so important because it can only be in one place. So it can't be like it's in this orange yellow spot and also blue. So you can see that this is a very yellow orange, and that's the color you're always going to start with, okay? So that is something that we have to look at. So I'm going to take my paint mixing cup and I'm going to put in a yellow orange, right? And this is going to be Wicked Golden Yellow. And that's going to be my main color because that's pretty much the main color. Maybe a couple of drops of orange in there, regular detail orange. So I'm going to put that in there. And now what I can do is if I turn that off, then you're back here, correct? Now you guys see me. So I'm going to move Persephone over here. And I'm going to start to mix that color. And I am going to mix a little bit of this wicked orange. Just a little bit because this is a little too much on the orange side. So let's see, that is this color right here. And I can't see your comments right now, but if you all could just quickly let me know if you guys can hear me. Okay, cool. So you guys can hear me. Patty, how are you? I do see you there. Okay, so get some of this. We're going to put one drop in there, and then we're going to 40-11 it, and you guys know what that means. All right. I like doing 1-to-1. That's my jam. Okay. I'm an oil painter as well, so I use palette knives. So let's see. So that is pretty close to where, so let's go back to Krita, right? And you'll see that if I move this over, it's right there, which is pretty close to this orange. Now, once you pretty much have the color you're looking for, then you're looking at the triangle. So on the lower right hand angle is full saturation, right? And then if you go along the base, it gets lighter and lighter. So that's your tint as you go along the base. As you go up towards the apex, that's going with the full saturation using black along this edge. That would be your shade. Anything in here is a combination of all three. So now looking at this, I have this color, which is right here, and there's a lot of white into it, right? There's a lot of white in there. So I'm going to add one more drop of this orange, because it's still a little on the yellow side. Actually, I didn't even open that one. Here we go. One more drop. I don't see your comments right now, but I will answer them. I'm sure they're great comments as always. Maybe just a little bit more, because that detailed golden yellow, man, that kicks butt, huh? Okay. Now, this doesn't mean you don't use your artistic knowledge and everything to kind of put your own spin on it, right? So right now I'm seeing that it needs just a little bit of earthiness to it, but we'll wait on that. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this to the side, because that's going to be too strong. If I was to add white to it, I would have to add a super amount of white, right? So we're going to take our Wicked Detail White. Now I'm running low. Running low on Wicked paint. I've been really pushing it, and I love it. This is my 4th painting with Wicked, and it's amazing. Okay, so now we're going to be adding this color to it until we get to the family we want. And looking at this, it needs a little something, but it's getting us in the right direction. It's a little bit on the yellow side, as I kind of suspected. So we're going to add 2 drops of this. And you see it's starting to get to where we want to be, but it's not quite there yet. Like I said, you want to bring in your own kind of flavor, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this, which is this Detail Universal Flesh Tone. I'm just going to add a little bit to it. And it should kind of shift it to where I'm a little happier with it. But it's still on the yellow side. So let's go ahead and put some of this Detail Flesh Tone in there. And then we may have to add some white to this, okay? But this is how I teach how to go in the right direction. Still a little bit on the yellow side, so I am definitely coming in with a little bit more orange. Now we're starting to cook, right? So now I'm feeling a lot better. I'm going to take another cup. These cups are cheap, so it's no big deal. I'm going to add some more white. I'm going to put a little bit in here. And that's looking very close to that color. Very close. So now I'm happy with it, and I'm going to 4011 it. And we're going to mix it. And then you could make your decision, right? This is a very light flesh tone. But then you could say, you know what, I just want a little bit more life in there. So I'm just going to add a couple of drops of this flesh tone here. Like I said, the critter will get you to where you want to be. Okay, so we're going to close that. So I should have been showing you this. Sorry, guys. So right here is the flesh tone, which is the light flesh tone that we're going to put down first. Okay? Let's move this over. Now you say, oh, you wouldn't waste it. No, because I'm going to use these colors during tonight's paint session. So that's okay. Okay. All right, so I'm bringing Persephone back. And we're going to use our magnets. So I'm covering everything except for her face. Now I don't want to go with when I'm on the light side where it'll cast a shadow, I want to use the low profile ones. Wow, Ryan, thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate that for the super chat. Hey, Cheese Grits and NyQuil, good to see you. And so that is so cool. Ryan, thank you so much for, hey, what's up, Eric? Great to see you. Oh, that is great. That is fantastic. I would love it if you did. And if you do order the course, Eric, I'll send you some extra goodies and everything. But Ryan, thank you so much for your support and your friendship. I really appreciate it. It helps out. Not a little bit, immensely. And it helps me to have faith in what I'm doing. You know, it's doing this is sometimes a very lonely thing. And you wonder if you're like, am I doing the right thing? You know? So thank you so much. That means a lot to me, Ryan. And that would be amazing, Eric, if you took the course, the second course. It's Gal Gadot. So if anyone's interested, the link's in the description, and also my courses are pinned to the top of the comment section, so that would be just amazing. And oh, I found my glasses. All right. She was almost going to look like a Picasso, guys. Patrick, great to see you, my friend. Let's see if I missed anybody. Nope, everyone is cool. Glad you're hanging out with us. That's so cool. And so So here's our color. So I think it's right on the money, but you never know until you start spraying, right? So let me get my Extreme Patriot Arrow. Has anyone ever had a brownout? I had a brownout the other day. I think it was on Monday. It was so strange. Uh, some things would work, like my computer wouldn't work, but my TV worked, my refrigerator didn't work. It was such a weird experience. I thought I had a power surge that I would have to buy a new computer and everything. It was really scary. Okay, put these on. So it's great hanging out with you guys. Mr. Brad, how are you? So, we were talking about also, working in different mediums. And the great thing is when we are working in different mediums, whether it be watercolor or pastel or oils, it's always going to have an effect on your main medium. So I know a lot of you guys and girls, your main medium is Airbrush, and that's wonderful. It's a great medium. I'm in love with it. So, but for many years, I was not just an airbrush artist. Many years, I was an oil painter, pastel painter, worked in graphite, all that fun stuff. Going to take my handy dandy little thing here. We're going to strain the paint. Very cool. And you can see, let me show you if you guys can see just how important it is to strain the paint. See all those doodads and things in there? That, my friends, would end up in your nozzle. Hopefully it would blow out of the nozzle, but maybe not. So, something to be weary of or alert to. So let me go wash this out and dump out any excess. Oh, I wouldn't want to dump it out. It wasn't strained. Okay, be right back. Okay, thanks. So, we do have, I'm going to just, oh, broke it. Never mind. Okay, great. All right, so we want to make sure we have all the magnets in place. And let's see. So glad everyone's here. Oh, yeah. So, let me see. Yep, those are two of my oil paintings in the background. Very, very cool. All right, so last night I went ahead and after I finished my underpainting in India ink, I erased all the pencil lines and then I did a layer of shellac. Once that dried overnight, today around 4 o'clock I started painting this. So now we paint. So I always like to start with the lightest colors. Okay, so let's see, here goes. I'm going to be about 4 inches away because I do not want to get any blotching, right? So let's see. Put this here. Okay, so even though this is definitely not white, it's appearing white on the gray paper. So why do I want the gray paper? Because it helps subdue the colors. you don't want to go in and have your colors too vibrant. You want to subdue your colors. And for me, because then it looks more realistic and less cartoonish. So now I'm just making sure from the distance I'm at that I am getting a smooth application. Use the inverse square law, which is, you know, the further the spray, the weaker the saturation will be, and also the weaker the actual paint will be. As you apply it, it'll be smoother. So you can see that my underpainting is really working for me. Now, one of the things I have been changing with my technique is that the underpainting has become lighter. So I am working for a lighter underpainting just so that the underpainting works with my technique and doesn't work against it. Meaning if my underpainting is too dark, then that's going to be an issue. Then I have to fight against the dark, and you don't want to fight against it, right? And Brad says, when you take Tim classes, you get trained to pay attention to details. Thank you, my friend. So now I'm just basically working on the light areas, staying away from the dark areas right now, but just working on the light areas. Maybe moving into a little bit into the mid-tones, but staying away from my darkest darks. Very cool. So what has everyone thought of my AI spokesmodel that I'll be using for my new courses, my new online courses and announcements? So the PSI is at 25. Love the squints. Oh, Steve says she looks like a cute Terminator. She could be, right? That's true. But basically, this is her time that she has to spend outside of paradise. And what place is more gloomy than a New York City subway? More devoid of light in the outside. So she kind of has that kind of dead eyes. Hey Melanie, how are you? Thank you so much. It's so great to see you. How are you today? Melanie, where are you from? Now what I'm going to do, oh, that's so nice for you to say. Oh, Queens, very cool. You know, I lived in Queens growing up. I lived in Astoria, uh, junior high school to high school. Loved it. I loved Queens. It was rough, but I loved it, you know? Uh, so that was really really interesting. That's where when I moved to Queens, Melanie, was I was in 8th grade, and I found out about the High School of Art and Design that you have to apply for. And this one kid, he was going the next year, and I found out that I could apply in my 9th year to go into my into my sophomore year. So I was so excited. I basically worked on my portfolio for a whole year to get into that school. And I did, and it really changed my life. For the good or ill, I'm not sure sometimes. Oh, Melanie says, I know you true. Oh, hey, Melanie, how you doing? I know you. How's it going? Oh, what a pleasure. Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming by. It's a real honor. Thank you. I heard great things about you, Melanie. Let's see. So I'm looking for her face only, because I want to cover her face, because I want to work on her neck. Now I could always use a freehand shield, right? It's not like I can't do that. But I would rather use these little stencils that thanks, Melanie. That is wonderful for you to say. And yes, I know all those wonderful things are true that I heard about you. Let's see here. It wouldn't be my live stream if I wasn't constantly looking for stuff. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like freehand shield time. So the whole thing is that I want to work on these lights here while I have this color and not wait, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this. Oh, Melanie says, where do I get my inspiration from? Well, basically, I like mythology, right, sometimes. And this is about the goddess Persephone. And basically, she ate the forbidden fruit, and now she has to live half the year in the underworld with Pluto, which is the god of war, and then half the year with her family in paradise because of that. And she symbolizes rebirth and spring. So I kind of like that story, and I've been working on this theme for maybe about 15 years now. And I got the original idea from my favorite painter, Dante Gabriel Rossetti. He's my favorite painter in the world. And I just love his work. And he did the most famous Persephone. And ever since I seen his painting, it was like I couldn't stop looking at it. So I thought I'd continue the theme, you know? And so that's my theme now. A lot of times if I meet someone and like I must paint them, that happens a lot as well. But you know, for like recurring themes, it usually is like something out of mythology or maybe something I'm going through. Like I did a whole series of paintings with the figure in the dollar bills, and I did that because I was broke. And so that's pretty much it. Usually has to do with my life in one way or another. And as you can see, I'm just making sure that I'm getting those light areas. And I think hitting that light area, you know, mixing the color, you know, with Critter really helped, because I think I nailed it, so I can build on this, you know. So that's really cool. Oh, thank you, Melanie. I really appreciate that. Thank you. That's very encouraging. It's funny, you know, being an artist, we see things totally different. You know, most people, you know, like, oh my God, that guy's weird. But that's just how we think, you know. We are kind of seeing what's underneath the surface a lot of times. And those are in the sciences and medicine as yourself. You know, you guys are scientists and you guys see things for what they are and can diagnose things and everything, and that's a wonderful talent in itself. So I'm going to kind of overlap a little bit. So I'm going to bring in this light color in her neck a little bit. Now I'm not going to worry about doing the freehand shield with the hair because it's so much darker. So even if I do get overspray, it's no big deal because I'm going to go over it, you know. Oh, thanks, Brad. I appreciate that. Brad said I'm a good teacher. I am a great teacher. That's an honor. Thank you, sir. So I'm about 5 inches away. And I'm just going to hit this. So I'm actually going ahead and bringing in some, like, overlapping with this light color. So when I come in with the mid-tone, it's, you know, I don't have like a gap in between. I'm kind of overlapping. And now that I think of it, I'm pretty much going to overlap everything. So why would I overlap everything? Because it creates an immediate sense of unity and kind of kills the gray and kind of creates more of a look of a painting from the very onset. And that's what we want to do. I'm so happy that my airbrush is holding out. And like I said, I don't want to worry about overspray over a dark. So overspray is important if it's going to affect you, but if it's not going to affect you, then don't worry about it. You're not supposed to be afraid of overspray, you're supposed to attack it. And when you're working with white, so remember, in this painting, notice that I didn't use the white mixture, you know? Hey, what's up, Travis? How you doing? All the way from Minnesota. So glad to see you, sir. Thank you so much for hanging out. So basically, I worked on the subway scene. I have a long way to go, but just kind of establishing the subway scene before the live stream. And so I'm just going to keep moving back and forth like that. So before I was going to keep the light away from the midtones, but I kind of drew that out the window. Painting is airbrush is very technical, but the more I do it, the more I'll get more intuitive. And I wouldn't teach that because that would be too confusing. But for my own work, I definitely do. I do want to be intuitive. Like here, the Depressa Anguli Oris, which comes down here. So I want to start even right now, early going, to show some of her anatomy, right? Some of the muscles that are underneath. So the Depressa Anguli Oris are these muscles right here, and they're responsible for our frowns, right? When we make frowns, which is really important. So the Twins, did they advance, sir? I don't know if you're a sports fan, but I know the Minnesota Twins they are in the playoffs, but I think they advanced. But so I'm also making sure that I have room for her zygomatic bone here. That's crucial. go. And so now I'm going to think, before I move on, I think there's more shadow coming right here. Oh, from St. Cloud. Cool. So how far is St. Cloud from St. Olaf, where Betty White used to talk about on the Golden Girls? Because that's where she was from. How many Golden Girl fans out there? I love the Golden Girls. So 80s, right? So there's this wonderful light that's hitting her shoulder. So I wanted to make sure that I did. Oh, the twins got eliminated. That stinks. I like the twins. Now sometimes you'll see that you'll get these little doodads that kind of spit out. And I learned this trick from Jonathan Pantaleone. I took 2 workshops with him back in 2013. And what he would do is he would blow air on it simultaneously. So once you dislodge it, it blows away. Just make sure you're not blowing paint. Okay, so that worked. They deserved it after they did what they did to the Blue Jays. Oh man, yeah, that's rough. So Ryan, you are from Canada, right, sir? Air Todd says he's cleaning out the bottle that had black in it. The black solidified and turned, wow, that's no good. Turned into gelatin? That's horrible. Okay, so now I am going to mix the darker color, right? So here we go. So I'm going to take Persephone away, and we're going to just go in with the next dark color, you know? That's all, and this is what I was looking for, almost. Okay, now we are going to go back to Krita. Now I won't be able to see your comments until we're done with Krita. So we're going to Krita, and so we want to look for the next dark color. And I would say, so we're going to take our color picker tool. I'm going to come here. Okay, so here we are back in Krita. And here's our color picker tool. And I am going to pick this right here. Now, what's really interesting is you'll notice on this outer rim that it is almost always with flesh tones from the darkest to the light, always in this red-orange area. Whether it's a dark-skinned person, a light-skinned person, a medium, swarthy complexion. It's really amazing. It's all the flesh tones are going to be in there. It was really an epiphany for me. So okay, so we're going to start with an orange, right? So let's go ahead and start with the orange. But this is more of a red orange. But remember, we had this paint we mixed before, right? So I knew we weren't going to waste it. So I'm going to take some more of the Wicked Orange. I'm going to really kind of explode that right in there. And let me see if I can still see your comments. I moved it over so I can see your old comments. Okay, so we're going to start with this orange color because that's what Krita is telling us to do. So I want to see if this is the right direction. Because a lot of times when you do things such as, start your color, you don't always go with the right color. So we have this orange, and I think that's right on the money. Now we're going to go back to Krita, and so remember this, if you look at the triangle, the angle all the way to the right is full saturation, and to the top, this leg going from the bottom right to the top, that's going, adding black from full saturation all the way to full black. Now the base from full saturation all the way to white is the other corner. And then from here, the left leg goes from white all the way to black. using grays. So that's all gray. So right now we're pretty much full saturation, right? Maybe just a little bit of black and going towards the white. So I would say we're going to add some detail smoke, right? That's what I'm thinking, detail smoke black, and then just a little bit of white. Let's see how that goes, right? What do we got to lose except for some paint, right? So I'm going to move Critter over. Actually, I'll turn Critter off. I did already. Okay, good. And let's see. Ryan says those color picker tools are real eye-openers, Ryan says. He's terrible at isolating his colors. Yeah, these are, it really is helping me, and it's helping me to teach it, you know, because color is so subjective. I'm going to put 2 drops of the smoke. And that got a little on the dark side. I think I should have put 1, but that's not bad though. I mean, we're close, right? So let's go ahead and we're going to put some of this, couple of drops of this golden yellow. Love this golden yellow color. Okay, now we're going to come here. And that's looking pretty darn close, but let's see. So we're going to go back to Critter, and we're going to use the color picker. Yeah, so I'm thinking, now this is something that we can do. Watch this. I can go and get my brush, make my brush big, and we can see what the color is. Now that's the color, so it looks close to what I have, but let's look at it in a different spot, because as Ryan said, in a different spot it could look totally different. So that's looking more fleshy, so more flesh tones with it, right? So with the color I have now, I'm going to add more flesh tone to it. So that doesn't sound too bad. And we're going to get another cup. Like I said, these cups are inexpensive. I think it was 250 of them for $10. Okay, where's my detail flesh color? Right here. I'm going to put that here. I'm going to add some of this. And I think that's going to give us a nice balance. Let me wipe this off. My palette knife is getting all nasty. Oh, and let's 4011 it. That's looking very much like it. I think so, but something's telling me I have to put just a drop of red, just a pinch of red, like a deep red. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to basically use a Q-tip. I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to take just a little bit of this. I'm just going to, because if I put a drop in, it would be too much. You know, sometimes it's just a tiny little pinch that makes a difference. So I take a Q-tip, and then I just put that in there like this. And now that's exactly the color I'm looking for. And I like it. Okay. Now there's a hair, and I don't want that hair going into my airbrush. See, it's so funny, you know, like airbrushing and everything. It's so much, you know, there's a lot of like little things that you have to do to get it right, you know, little testing and all that. So it's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of tediousness as well, you know, a lot of little stuff that, you know, isn't exactly all that much fun. Let's see. So now I'll move Critter out of the way. Pam, how you doing all the way from Virginia? How are you? So glad you're here. Now, so glad you're here. So here's the color. And I think that's it. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to dump out the color that I have. Now when you're going from a light color to a dark color, you don't have to worry because a dark color is always going to dominate your light color. But with that being said, you still got to make sure that you clean it out but you don't have to clean it out so much if you were going from a dark color to a light color. But we want to make sure that we wipe out the cup and do everything we can. We want to set ourselves up for success, and that's not always easy. But I do like that color, so I think we did a good job with that. Wow, Brad, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. That's amazing. That really helps, sir. Thank you. And it helps, you know, with the bottom line of keeping the channel going, but it also helps with encouragement. And I really appreciate your support and friendship, sir. Thank you really a great deal. So, Brad, that's wonderful. Now, we can't get away. See, that's the whole thing about airbrushing. The more you do it, the more you realize you can't get away with things, right? Hey, Veronica, how are you? Veronica, are you from the High School of Art and Design? Are you Veronica that I know? I'm just going to pour a little bit in here. Just a little tiny more. Wow, this is a great group today. We got Melanie and Veronica and so exciting new faces. And I will be right back. I'm just going to wash this. All right, so let's see. So now we're going to take, so that was the original. See how that was like way too dark, and then we went ahead and fixed it with that. So we do have our cups, and now we're going to put our cap back on. We'll bring Persephone back. Okay, and we're going to put the face only first. We want to try and be as neat as possible. It's not always the case, but we try. Let's see. There we go. So great to see you, Veronica. Now, where are you from? Where are you watching us from? Let's see here. And I like having the low profile magnets when it gets closer to the edge that's opposite the light, because opposite the light causes a cast shadow, and I think there's a shadow in my painting but isn't really there, you know? Okay, now remember I put this here because there's a little opening there for the ear. Now yeah, you know what? I could use that dark there, so that's cool. Okay, here goes. Here goes nothing, honey. Let's see. All right, now we are going to hit these darks here. And it is pretty much on the money, but you know what? I'm not really after on the money. I want I want an estimate or a guesstimate, right? That's what I'm after. Because I'm going to come in with that white mixture with the orange and kind of blow everything out anyway. But always with the 1 second rule, we don't really get to relax. When I know we want to paint things like a relaxation thing, but we don't get to relax. I know it's like the opposite of what we want to hear, but it really is something that we have to be super diligent, right? Super diligent. We have no choice because it's like a domino effect. Now, of course, now that I'm putting in the midtones, I can just see how super light everything is, right? Just super duper light. Here comes the midtones there. And here's something that's counterintuitive. I'm actually going to go over the white of the eyes with the flesh tone. Now that is from my classical art training, because the white of her eyes always has a flesh tone mixed into it, always. That goes from the Renaissance times. So you're always going to have a little bit of flesh tone in the whites of the eyes. In nature, not so much for photograph, but in nature. And we're going to take off this freehand here. Like I said, we don't really have to worry too much because what's surrounding her face is more or less the hair, right? And the hair is so dark, so it's not really much of a concern. But I'm being very deliberate, very slow. Rome was not built in a day. And God said, do not despise the day of small beginnings. And that's what I think as well. So it's going to look like not much of much, but that's okay. So I'm hitting this midtone, and then I'm going to come in with a richer light, correct? So let's see here. Oh, great, Veronica. Veronica and I went to high school together, and Veronica was always just one of the really sweet people that I remember. Hey, Ryan, great to see you, my friend. How's everything going? That is so cool. Thanks for hanging out. Now, Ryan is from Michigan. Mr. Leahy, have a great night, my friend. Take care and make sure you get your relaxation in. I'm going to try and make your live stream tomorrow, God willing. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Now, what time's your live stream before you go, Mr. Steve? I believe it's 1:30. Wow, Sans1024, thank you so much. It is so great to get, to have your friendship and to see you here. And now, Sans1024, is this Susan by any chance? Oh, wow. Sans says, thank you for the live feeds. She enjoys the technique and instruction. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. And thank you for the super chat. It helps me out so much. It really does. They're like lifesavers. Really exciting. 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Steve Leahy. He's on Facebook tomorrow, so check him out. So thank you so much, Sans. I appreciate you so much. That is so exciting. I love doing these live streams. So even when I had a full-time job years ago, I still did the live stream. You know, whenever I have a job, I always say, you know, I'm not available during the live streams on Wednesday night. And they're like, if that's an issue, it's like, yeah, it is. Because that's something I've been doing live streams basically since like 2017. That's a long time. And so thank you so much once again, Sans. I appreciate you. I'm not sure if you're Susan, but thank you. And let's see. So now what I'm thinking of doing, since I have this, is I can actually come from a higher distance, a further distance from my painting, and actually bring a little bit of color into the light. See, as I go like 7 inches, I can actually bring some color in there, which is great. Hey Cody, how are you? It's great to see you. Oh man, what a pleasure. God bless you too, my friend. Oh, Mike. Okay, so Mike, it's great to see you. Thank you so much. Wow, that is great, Mike. And so, Mike, where are you from? And thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. It really means a lot to me. Oh, Ryan says the painting looks good. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. So I'm going to be a little bit, as I'm further away, I have this darker color, but if I go from like 7 inches, all of a sudden that becomes a light color. And it mixes with that very light color that we mixed earlier. So there's so many different ways to do that, you know, so many different ways to get color in airbrush, because naturally, because you're using, you know, a spray pattern and it's naturally transparent. So the further you're away, the more transparent your color gets. So being about 7 inches and spraying over it, over the surface, it's like the thinnest transparent you ever saw. Brad says she's really coming along nicely. Oh, have a great night, Brad. Thanks for hanging. I appreciate you. So cool. Now, here's the thought process. And what I'm doing is I'm going to come in and I'm going to darken some of these darks, right? I'm going to come in pretty dark, right? And then I'm going to come in with the even darker colors. And then I'm going to come in with the white and orange mixture. And those of you who have watched me do color over the time period, what is it, 3 months now I've been doing color? And and then I come with the orange mixture and kind of blend everything together. Ryan says, we already have a Ryan here. Can you change it? You guys are hilarious. That's funny. And now I'm getting a nice kind of flesh tone. Now I have to work on the flesh tone on her shoulders. Now when I come in with the white mixture, I am going to cover the hair, I think, because that's going to be super white and that could just blow everything apart. So I don't want to do that, but that's to be determined. So I kind of established that light, and I'm obliterating that light with coming in with this mid-tone. And then I'm going to come in with the darker color. It's going to be cool. And Brad said, who said Tim couldn't use color? Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Yeah, it's funny. I worked in black and white for two reasons. Is I really wanted to master the airbrush at the highest level. And I felt for me to master at the highest level, I had to do things to get to get drastic results. You have to do things drastically or something like that. And and so what I did was just worked in black and white and worked on edges controlling and everything like that and not working with color. I've been working with color since I was 15 in different mediums, and I also worked about maybe about 7 years in airbrush and color. So I wanted to master it, master the airbrush, and I felt I did that. And now I have this kind of new mastery and control of the airbrush, and combining that with all my years of color, I really feel I'm able to take this to a new level. Now remember the lips, right? The upper lip's going to have this kind of flesh tone, so I'm actually going to go ahead and go over the lips with this flesh tone because the flesh is in the color of the lips, or vice versa, you know? Oh yeah, you were always, I always have wonderful memories of you, Veronica. We had Spanish together, I remember. Oh, thank you so much. I want to do them again. Veronica was talking about how I used to do these during the pandemic. I would do these very, everyone and all inclusive, just like drawing the eye with pencil and regular paper. And that was fun. And so many different people were enjoying them, and I was enjoying it too. I want to do that again. We did the lips and the eyes, an eye, and I think we did a hand. That was fun, definitely. Okay, so now we're going to come in with the darks, right? So now we're coming in with the darkest dark. So remember, what's really cool is that we have this. I can take that color, right? See this nice light color? I can these filters double as a cap for these cups. And now it's airtight, so that's cool. I'm going to put that aside. And let me do the same with this one here. So now we have to look for the darkest dark, and we're going to go back to Krita. Now, this is something I love sharing with you guys because you're not going to get that anywhere on the live stream. And I just want to make sure that I'm giving you guys something special and different. Other live streams are amazing and they give wonderful things, and I want to do my own wonderful thing for you guys just by showing you how to find color, or at least get you in the right ballpark of the color, right? And Mr. Cheese Grits and NyQuil says he's going to have some drawing lessons from you, Tim, just to start. Oh, that would be amazing. Yes, I am very good drawing teacher. My teachers were all very adamant on drawing as the foundation, so that's one of my real specialties is drawing. So definitely, Patrick, I'm looking forward to that. And let's see. So here we are, and we want to go ahead and find the darkest dark, right? So we're going to go back to Krita, and let's see, where is Krita? Right here. Okay, so here we go. We have Krita, and we want to find the darkest dark, the darkest skin tone that we have, right? And that's going to be right about here. So we're going to go back to our color picker tool. Krita.org. That is a free tool. If you go on www.krita.org, it's free. You don't pay for it. So definitely download it. Okay, so we're going to go over our darkest dark. And look at that. So looking at the darkest dark here, it's more of a purple, right? So if I go to the darkest dark, it's more of a purple. Now, I'm not quite sure of that. I'm going to go right here. Yeah, it looks like it's towards a reddish purple. So let's come back to this, and we'll go back to here. And you know what? It's a magenta. So we're going to practice what we preach, right? So I'm going to go ahead and find a straight magenta, right? So I'm going to close this out for now, and then we'll come back. So remember, we always want to find out where it is on the outside, because on the outside circle, it can only be in one spot. It can't be in two spots. So it can't be a little purple and a little green. So it has to be here. So it's a great thing that when you look at a color, you have to first decide what color it is. Regardless of it's dark or light or adding gray, you have to decide. But Krita actually does that for you. So we're going to be looking for magenta. Okay, so let's move this out of the way. And all right, so magenta, right? So magenta is not a color you use, but it's an important color. Okay, so we do have a detail magenta, and these are all Createx Wicked line. That's what I'm specializing in right now. I'm going to shake that up really well. You know what? Remember last week, I always talked about how much I love black magenta. I love this color. It's just a great color. So we're going to start with black magenta. You know why? Because we can. Let's see. So, oh, Sands, you sent me a Facebook message. Thank you so much. Let's see. Oh, yes, Mike. Now I know exactly who you are. Great to see you, sir. All right. So that's cool. Thanks, Mike. That is very cool. And so that's exciting. So now and thank you, Mike, for that super chat sticker. That is so cool of you. Really is. And happy birthday, my friend. So it's not easy being 29, Mike. So now, okay, so you're saying, okay, Tim, you went with detail black magenta. What are you thinking of? Let's go back to Krita, and we'll see. So we're going to go back here, and Veronica says, yes, perfect for her. Let's see. So I am going to open up Krita, and there we go. So we're back to Krita. So we went with magenta, but one of the things we realize is that it's going way up towards the black, right? So we started with this magenta and going towards black. And there's a little bit of gray in there, right? A little bit of gray. And so now what we can do is kind of look for that. So we're going to turn this off, and we're going to move Krita aside. Okay, so we have this. We're going to 4011 it. And we're going to add just the tiniest. So remember, you can just add the tiniest little bit of white. And we can do the same thing, that whole Q-tip method, because I don't want to add too much. So we got the Q-tip method going. Now all we need is a Q-tip to do the method. I think it's over here. Okay, so because the color we're looking for is pretty dark, but not crazy dark. So let's add a little bit of this. And that was like super powerful. But I also see that we can put some red in there because it is going towards the red. And maybe another drop of this black magenta. Tim's new favorite color. Alright, now let's add some red to this. See, the thing is, Critter will give you the ballpark and then you kind of use your own flavor, right? We all see color differently. We all want to see it differently. And I'm just going to... Ooh, this is a burnt orange. Let's put some burnt orange in there. So we're not doing things exactly the way a computer tells us. Oh, lips, eyes, and egg, nose, and ear. Yes, the ear was so much fun, right? We went over the anatomy of it, Veronica. That was so cool. I'm going to do it again. Maybe on a Saturday. Because I don't have dates on Saturday. Okay. That looks pretty good, actually. Because it's interesting because it's counterintuitive. You think that it's just going to be a darker shade of that reddish orange color that we were using for the mid-tone. But that's not the case. A little more 4011. Now, remember... Okay, so... we have this color, and I'm going to dump it out. That was the next dark color. I'm going to dump that out. So the magic's going to be, once we put down our flesh colors, then we can start to come in with our orange mixture and kind of blend everything together. I'm going to throw some water through it. Make sure there isn't any doodads or little speckles or something. Now a dark color like this will have a lot less of your... And what I'm going to do is, we're going to do that again. We're just going to pour a little bit in here using that. There. Now this is a dark magenta color, and it's definitely counterintuitive, right? Definitely. So let's bring this over. So this is a really dark color. Like I said, the dark magenta was not my first choice. I did add some of the warmth in there, but still it wasn't my first choice. So it's interesting that using Critter kind of makes you go outside of yourself a little bit. Oh, this is working quite nicely, guys. Hey, Dwayne says, thanks for the tip on those brushes, Tim. I got them today, and I think, yeah, you're going to love it. And plus that little fan brush. You can use that for so many different things, for smoothing out. The fan brush is great for smoothing out brush strokes, or even painting on the side and do some trees like Mr. Bob Ross did. So I love that Dwayne, that set of brushes actually comes with a fan brush and also all those detail brushes. So look how dark that color is, right? And it comes from magenta. So yes, so I really hope that if you don't have some kind of mechanical method of finding your colors, at least getting you in the ballpark, I think this would really be a nice a nice thing for you to try. See if you like it. See if it affects your color choices. We always got to step outside the box, right? So I'm just going to bring in some of that darkest dark there. Always try and step out of the boat, right? You know? And now you see, just very slowly we're darkening some of these values. And then things get deeper, right? We start getting deeper and start, you know, going further and further. The surface is going to happen, but you have to kind of help it along, and that's what we're doing right now. So we want to, I don't think I have a face only shield, so we're going to use our freehand shield for this. Let's do that. Okay, so we'll just come here. Just kind of hitting this dark, bringing her chin forward. There we go. And just hit this edge right next to her hair. And then this dark right here. So next is coming a very interesting part. Okay, now the little shadow by her dress right there. Okay. Now, I'm using this other brush. I use this brush all day, so I'm really hoping that it works. Now, I do have in here some white, but I don't want to just tempt fate, so I'm gonna blow this out. And you know that white gets really thick at the bottom, so we're gonna just attempt to clean this out. So I'm gonna make my famous white and orange mixture. Okay, so we're gonna blow some water through it. I may have to take this to the sink. I should take it to the sink, but I'm trying to cut corners right now because it is 10:56. Wow. So we only got a half hour to go. That's great. We're having a lot of fun today. So that is great. So, okay, so the orange-white mixture, let's take Persephone, put her off to the side here. Yeah, definitely. And we're just going to continue working on her, but we're going to kind of unify things. Let's see. Do I want to do that just yet? Yes, I think so. All right, so we have that, and we'll get a new cup. And let me get another white, because I'm almost out of detail white. I use a lot of white, as you can see. I am almost out of all the white. Ooh. That is finito. Okay, there we go. That other stuff was thick. Now we're going to 4011 it immediately. And now let's mix this up because it came out really thick, right? We're going to mix this up really well. Oh man, see, that's why you have your artwork far away, because stuff like that happens, at least to me. I just splattered it all over me and my face, my keyboard. Let's see. And of course right over here, you can't see it, but it's there. All right, no worries. I don't like getting messy, but it's part of painting, right? And we're going to take 1 drop of this orange. Not detail orange, but wicked orange. Let's see. Let's see what that does. It might be enough. It might not be enough, to be determined. Oh, that definitely is enough. Might be even too much. But I'm going to 4011 it a little bit more. Where are you? Right here. Now I should have cleaned out my airbrush, but we are going to see if we get away with it. Sometimes you do. I'm only doing that because we have like a half hour left. I don't want to spend a good portion of it. Okay, here we go. 4011 time, guys. Actually, white mixture time. All right. Now, I am going to put the face only shield on there because I don't want overspray of this white mixture onto her hair, right? That would be bad. But I think we're doing pretty good. I hope. Let's see. That looks pretty good. Famous last words. Let's see. Low profile over here. Magnets, because we don't want cast shadows. This is not really like have to put it on there hard fast. I just really don't want to have any crazy overspray onto her hair. Okay, so now what I'm doing is, with this white mixture, I'm kind of sculpting. You know, I did not go ahead and strain this paint, so I'm compounding it, right? Dwayne says, okay, so I got that message, Dwayne, thanks. So, yeah, tell me what you feel about those brushes. I think you're going to do great with them. All right, here goes. And so right now we got spray even before we push back. So let's make sure. Moral of this story, do not cut corners, right guys? Let's see here. Okay, we are in business so far. Lower that air pressure a little bit, and let's do some sculpting. So on the top of her forehead, it's getting quite a lot of light. So we're going to hit that blast of light here with that, right? So that's what we're going to be doing now. I'm going to be about 3 inches away because I don't want blotchiness. And now you do see that we do get a little bit of the splattering of the white. So that's no fun. Let me see if I can just lift this up here. A little bit of white there. There we go. So you want to address that as soon as you see them. There we go. So maybe if I zoom in a little bit, I can show you exactly what my thoughts are. Okay. So right here on the supraorbital ridge, there's more light right there. A little more light here on this part of the supraorbital ridge. And then where the midtones are a little hot, I can just go over with the white and then just glaze later, right? So that works out. So right now I am definitely sculpting, and then I can come back over and just keep doing it again. There's a little more light hitting above her mouth where her teeth are, and so I want to express that. And again, we have our razor blade, and I want to get rid of a little fleck of white. Take care of it now before it becomes a bigger problem, right? That's important. See, here is kind of a hot spot. I'm actually going to go over this with a white, but from far away. It's going to do two things. It's going to help with the transparency that I'm going to come in later. So, and then I'm going to come over this color once again. And keep doing that, right? What this does, it creates a unity where your airbrush painting starts to look like an oil painting. You see somebody like Steve Gibson uses this technique a lot. I think he's the closest to what I do, but we're not quite the same. So right here, you know what, I don't want to get that hard edge. I was thinking of getting hard edge, but I think that would hurt me more than help me. So I'm just going to kind of hit this whole area. So there's a real method to my madness, trust me. So this is just basically going over it with the white, and then we're going to go over it with the color again, and do that several times. Now the reason why I do it in certain areas is because I need that translucency, right? Take care, Ryan. Thanks for the super chat, my friend. And the Blue Jays will get him next year. Take care, Ryan. So I did do a video, guys, on me applying the shellac onto the surface. So stay tuned for that. It may be tonight or tomorrow. I'm going to put it up on my YouTube channel. Okay. So you see, it definitely has a look, right? It definitely is different, but it's my own way of thinking. And now we're going to work on her neck. I need a translucency, and how I will do that is I will come in and kind of soften everything up so I can come back in and get much more colorful, and also get the value. So it might be in certain areas that the underpainting might be too dark, and this solves that problem. So it's funny, I put in color, then I obliterate color. And I put in color, and then I obliterate color. And that's basically my technique in a nutshell. Then we're going to come down into the mid-tones of her neck, because what we're doing is, so I'm all about opaques and glazes, right? So when we first do the underpainting, it's all about transparencies, right? And, you know, so once this, now I'm adding opaques, so which in turn I could glaze with transparencies. And then if I need to adjust, I could just obliterate the transparents with more opaques, because opaques will always cover a transparent. So with that thinking, you never have to worry about making a mistake you can't fix, because it's all about transparents and opaques. So now we're going to come down here, because now we have this blast of light on her sternum. And then it goes from her sternum to her pectoralis major. And you see how it's definitely different. It's a different way of painting, but it's effective. And make sure that the airbrush, so far the airbrushes have been really working well for me, so that's good. So guys, if you go to the link that is on top of the, which is pinned on top of the comments, there is a free course there, a free, not a course, but a free PDF on things that you have to do to prepare to have a successful airbrush session. So that's totally free, so check it out, the link above, it's totally free. So you would just go ahead and click on it. I think it's like the 5 or 6 things for a successful airbrush session. And those are some really great ideas that I think will help you out just to set yourself up to succeed. Oh, Veronica, have a great night. It's amazing to see you. And God bless you as well. And you're inspiring me to start one of those post-pandemic live streams for everybody. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you. Okay, so that's where we are now. And well, right here I think it's a little dark, so I'm gonna hit it with this white here. And now we're setting ourselves up, right? What are we setting ourselves up for? I have no idea. Nope, that's not true. I'm just kidding. So Let's see if we have some dark in our airbrush, so let's put in some of the dark here. You know what we can do? This is something cool. Is I do have the, if I do have it, let me see if I have it. Would be cool if I have it. I need manila envelopes. I am out of manila envelopes, so I have all of these acetate stencils, and I don't have, okay, here we go. This is cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to line this up. Make sure this is lined up correct. I think this is pretty good. Okay. Put this, and we'll definitely see how it goes, right? We don't want to commit ourselves too early. So I have this dark magenta color in here, and we're going to use that for her eyes. Just going to see how this looks, that we're on line, in line. Very nice. See how we bring back some of the definition. So that worked out well. And we're going to bring these back, and now we can be a little more forceful. Let's bring some of these smaller magnets over. So we're 11:15. We're in the last 15 minutes. I really hope that this live stream was helpful to you guys. And thank you for your great comments, guys and girls. Raise our air pressure. So what this does, it just kind of reinforces some of our darkest darks. Let's see how this goes. I'm always very tentative with this, of course. Stunning, yes. So it did work out, right? And I do love when a plan works out because this really does, using the dark magenta, we're not using black, right? You don't want to use black in this situation because black is not natural. Pure black is not natural in nature. So having this kind of dark flesh tone that we made with the black magenta is quite effective. Interesting. So I do see, so see that? I just have to punch out that little nostril there. Let me see if I can kind of grab it, that little piece. You can do it, Tim. I think you did it. Yes, okay. Here we go. 3 cheers for black magenta. Okay. I'm happy. So I did prepare quite a while, I did prepare for several hours for today's live stream. I'm glad I did because it made a real difference to what I was able to share with everybody today. Okay, so I'm really liking it. And I'm also liking the fact that now if we look at it, we can see that, you know, it's not like a transparent painting where it kind of, you know, is broken up. It actually, it seems like the way an oil painting is. Everything is kind of melded together, starting to get that surface texture, right? That's the word I'm looking for. And that's what we're looking for, is that surface texture. Okay, so now we're going to go back to where we began, right? And that is going to our original flesh color. So now we can go ahead and remove this. And let me dump out this white mixture. Wow, it really held up, right? So the Extreme Patriot Arrow and Extreme Patriot 105 really, because I've been working all day with opaques and transparents, but mostly opaques, and it's holding up really well, and that's always great. Dwayne says, do you ever use texture stencils? I don't, Dwayne, and that's only because of my own thing, right? I think texture stencils are great. You know what? Drew Blair has some amazing ones. So does Gerald Mendez. But I tend not to because it takes away from me seeing. So I don't want to rely on them. So I would love to. So my kind of thing is, you get texture by worrying about the edges, and that's kind of what I teach. So that's basically my whole thinking about that. But no, I think those who use texture stencils, they do them really great. So definitely like them, just not for myself. Okay, so we're going to get inside there with a Q-tip. I buy these Q-tips from CVS, and they don't have many little hairs that get into your nozzle. Alright, so I'm going to spray some water in there without the needle. So next week we're going to work on her dress and her hair, and then really bring in the background of the subway. I'm excited about the painting. I think it's like the next level for me. More story, you know, and just proof that you don't have to work big to do an epic painting, epic in subject matter. I mean, it doesn't always have to be this huge painting, right? So let's go ahead with the light color that we used. Let's see, so I still have it here, right over here. I'm going to start adding that a little bit. Now I already strained it, so that's good. I'm going to put a little bit in. I'm going to see how it goes. And the top. Wow, what a difference with the strained paint, huh? It really is a difference. I'm going to add a little bit more of the flesh color in here because it is really, really light. I need a little more. I don't usually do this, but I'm going to break tradition, and I'm going to add a little bit of the flesh color. I know, it's crazy. Maybe a little bit of that red. Where is that? Oh, that's dry. Just a little bit of this. Okay, that looks a little better. A little more life into it. That's important. And we're going to 4011 it just a little bit. I am at a 4011 in my little bottle. I got to refill it. I might have went too dark, but there's only one way to find out. On a test paper, not on my painting. So, where did our test paper go? Here we go. Okay, that looks good. Not too light. Okay, that's working out. So I'm just getting some of the flesh color that's outside of my lightest lights. And I'm going to put this color right up next to where the midtones are going to be again. There, Todd says, sorry I was MIA tonight, but, let me see. Was it because of the internet or something, Todd? I don't see the whole thing. There's these little icons next to it. But that's okay. You're here now, sir. Yeah, these airbrushes are really holding up, so that's encouraging. And coming right up here. Now we're setting up real nicely to start coming in with some of those midtones. It's good because you have to kind of get that base. It's just like working in pastel, right? You have to continue trying to get that base color and then going over it with darker colors. And that's how I work with pastel. And oils, and now with airbrush. Okay, so I have a little bit of that color, so now I can come in with the darker color before we leave. So thanks everyone for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you immensely. Thank you for the super chats, guys. That is so cool. And I'm just always honored that you guys take time, guys and girls take time to hang out with little old me. I really appreciate you. So this is already, so here's my darker color, right guys? It's already diluted. We're gonna put that in there. We're gonna see how it goes, right? This is our deeper, darker color. And we just have a few more minutes, but this is cool. Thank you so much, Dwayne. Have a great night. You're the best, sir. So we are just a few minutes away. Let me know how those brushes come. And so now we're going to always use our test spray, our test paper. Okay, this is good. It's a little bit darker. And now we're starting to get some of those darker values a little bit. Little by little, guys, we'll get there. That's the whole thing, little by little. And so since I'm already working, I'm going to continue working a little bit more tonight off of the live stream. And like I said, be on the lookout for the new the video on me putting the shellac on the painting, on the underpainting, I should say. And you know, it is a little bit of a laborious process, but you're building up a real nice surface, and that's the whole thing. We're just building up this surface. There we go. And we are at 11:30. Thank you everybody for hanging out. You guys and girls are all so amazing. I appreciate you so much. Keep on the lookout for that new video on putting the shellac. And I just want to thank you Mike Severino. Thank you Brad. Thank you Mr. Ryan for the super chats today. You guys are all amazing, super amazing. And I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of the week. And vaya con Dios, everybody. Okay? Take care, and thanks again.